welcome back to another classic album review here on Metal Band's Chronicles. And this album just celebrated a landmark, because we just celebrated the 30th anniversary of this classic album a couple days ago on September 24th. You know, came out on Capitol Records, produced by Mike Klink. What legendary thrash metal album could I possibly be talking about? Well, I'm sure you all heard of a band called Megadeth, and this legendary iconic album, Rust In Peace. You know, this album is legendary, it's iconic, it's very highly influential amongst thrash metal. Many are influenced by it, many have started bands because of this, or picked up a guitar because of this album, or started playing drums or bass because of this album. Because it's a masterpiece of thrash metal and technicality when it comes to guitar, drums, and bass playing. Man. Okay, so we're going to go into a little bit of a backstory here about this album. Now, this album, Dave started working on as far back as 1988. He started crafting together the beginnings of a masterpiece. Yes. During, So Far So Good So What. Of course, during this time, Jeff Young and Chuck Billier would eventually get fired from Megadeth. So Nick Menza would come in on drums. They'd be a three-piece for a little bit. Chris Poland would come back to do some demos that Dave was recording for Rust In Peace. He played lead guitars on 3 of the demo tracks, I believe. I mean, they would get issued on the 2004 reissue of Rust In Peace. So yeah, you had that. Dave would audition a bunch of guitar players. Dimebag Darrell from Pantera would be one of them. Jeff Waters from Annihilator, Chris Oliva from Sabotage, even Jeff Loomis from Nevermore, Arch Enemy, would audition for that guitar slot in Megadeth. But eventually, Marty Friedman would get it from Cacophony, which also featured Jason Becker, and, from Hawaii, and of course, Marty Friedman had put out a solo album called Dragon Kiss, prior to that. So Marty Friedman got the gig, hence the classic Megadeth lineup of Dave Mustaine, Dave Ellefson, Marty Friedman, and Nick Menza. To me, still the best Megadeth lineup. Now, the current lineup they have now, it's very close to that lineup, but you can never duplicate or reinvent that lineup from what it was. So yes, they would go in, record Rust In Peace, and holy Christ, you talk about a crafting of a masterpiece. Let's just get into the album. So, we open it up with Holy War's The Punishment Due right away. You get hit with this iconic riff. This catchy speed metal riff that Dave wrote. Ooh, and it just kicks your ass. Then Dave comes in, singing, "Brother would kill brother, spilling blood across the land, killing for religion," something I don't understand. Yeah, I'm doing a bad impersonation of Dave Mustaine right now, but you get my drift. Epic track. You get that little middle breakdown part with that Spanish classical sounding guitar part. Then you just get thrash metal fury to end it out, and a bunch of guitar solos to end it out. Yes. And one line that everybody should listen to in this track, because it's definitely a reality today. "A country that's divided surely will not stand. Don't look now to Israel, it might be your homeland." Excuse me there. Because it seems like it's that way nowadays. So Dave was basically predicting what is happening now in this track, Holy War's The Punishment Due. Anyways, killer track. Moving on. We got Hangar 18. Love this track. Now, this track, you know, doesn't have many lyrics in it. It's almost an instrumental track, but it's a very well-crafted track. It's one of my favorites on the album, obviously. Just great riffs. Now, notably, you will notice that Dave Mustaine is using the same chord progression that he used in Call of Cthulhu. You know, Call of Cthulhu, which he wrote or co-wrote while he was still in Metallica. So you will notice in Hangar 18 you will hear that, except for Dave strumming it, as opposed to, you know, picking it. Excellent track. Oh my god. The guitar solos Marty Friedman's doing on this track. Jeez. Epic stuff. Let's move on to Take No Prisoners. Oh my god. Again. Another masterpiece. This song, man, holy crap, it's so fast. It's so technical. I mean, I remember when I first heard this, I couldn't believe that a band could play that fast and write riffs that technical, you know. When I first heard Rust in Peace, I was just blown away by the speed of this track. Oh my god, excellent drumming too by Nick Menta. He literally plays what the guitar is doing on that track. It's amazing how he keeps in time with what Dave Mustaine's doing on the rhythm guitars. Amazing. And by the way, take no prisoners and take no shit. Okay, moving on, we get to Five Magics. Another killer track. Killer track. You know, I love the beginning. It's got that thrashy beginning. Then it kind of breaks down into Dave Ellefson doing this excellent bass part. It's such a melodic, excellent bass line that Dave's playing behind there, you know. Amazing. And notably, yes, we should mention Dave Ellefson's bass playing on here. To me, it's the best bass playing he ever done on a Megadeth album. Just amazing stuff. Yeah, man, Five Magics, holy Christ, just another kick-ass tune. Great riffs, solos, bass playing, drumming. Need I say more? So then we go into Poison is the Cure, which many would say, okay, it's the weakest track probably on this album. I don't think. But it does begin with a almost 2-minute long intro with Dave Ellefson playing a pretty neat bass riff, you know, and it kind of creeps up. Then it gets like really fast. And it's weird because what Dave wrote for this track, Dave Mustaine, guitar-wise, rhythm-wise, it almost sounds bluegrass. It does. It literally sounds bluegrass what Dave is playing behind all that speed metal stuff, you know what I mean? It's insane. But yeah, it's just a short little fast track when it gets into it, like literally a little over 2 minutes long. You know, if you cut that intro out. But it's a killer track. Alright, so then we kind of slow it down a bit with Lucretia. You know, you get that weird laugh in the beginning. Yeah. But then, you know, this is another track that has some really good riffs. Some really good melodic riffs by, you know, Dave Mustaine and Marty Friedman, you know. Just excellent stuff, and Marty Friedman is playing some amazing solos on this track. Man. Now, I remember when I was younger, I wasn't really into this track much. But as I grew older, I got more into it. Great stuff. Then we get into my favorite track, Tornado of Souls. Yes, to me the best track on this freaking album. You talk about a great intro and a great riff. Man, oh man, this track is filled with excellent riffs and excellent guitar solos by Marty Friedman. Man, oh man. I would definitely agree with a lot of people that say this might be the greatest Marty Friedman solo of all time. I'm talking throughout his whole entire career. You know, because this solo is excellent. My God, it's so good. It's so catchy. You know. Excellent track, excellent track. Moving on. We get into Dawn Patrol. Kind of like a little interlude track before we get into the grand finale of the album. And Dave sounds really eerie and creepy on this track. Dave Ellefson is playing a very memorable bass line in this. You know, as the primal chiller ooze and the sanity they lose. You know, that part is fucking cool, man. Just the way Dave's singing it in that creepy, dark voice that sounds like an insane madman. Then we get into the grand finale, the closer of the album, Rust in Peace, Polaris. Oh my God, man. That drum intro by Nick Menza. Excellent, 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 excellent. What more can be said? And the track itself. Again, it's got some excellent riffs. You know, some very complicated riffs too. I mean, this track's just awesome, man. Great way to end the album. You know, of course, a track about what if nuclear war did break out. Pretty much. Just cool stuff. What more can I say? Anyways, Rust in Peace by Megadeth. You know what? It's a 100 out of 10. That's how damn good this album is. A 100 out of 10. Perfect album. I would definitely say it's one of the best thrash metal albums of all time. I still listen to them from time to this day. You know, and I first heard this album way back when it first came out back in 1990. You know, from an older friend of mine who got it. So yeah, Megadeth, an excellent band. You know, this album's a masterpiece. It's legendary, it's iconic. I said all that in the beginning. 100 out of 10. 100 out of 10. It's a metal masterpiece. Keep it metal. Like, subscribe, leave your comments. You know what to do.